Okay, good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, November 21st, 2023, just a couple days from Thanksgiving and basically the end of the month here. We're starting to get a nice little healthy pullback right now, but let's go ahead and do a quick review for yesterday. So, if you guys recall, yesterday, don't have the report up. But basically, we said what we said. We were stuck inside of all the chops. So if you look at the higher time frames, we were bouncing back and forth between this scaffolding level we have 43.43 and this scaffolding level around 45.07, right? And it kept, once we got this big push out of getting out of our previous expected bullish test zone where we came into, tested that for 2 or 3 days in a row, we popped out, came into the next task zone, and like I said, all week we were saying, hey, look, we need to get out of here. And if the bulls could get through the high of last week, then we were going to target up to our next target, 45.65. So that was our plan yesterday. I told you guys just before the market opened, we had a really nice hourly potential bullish signal that could follow through to break through. And again, our first target was this next scaffolding level around 45.65. Well, it was the high of yesterday, 71. They peaked through it, and then if you really look into the overnight session here, let's see if I can pull this up. We basically held our scaffolding level to the tick here. So we peaked through it, came down, and then tagged it nearly to the tick here, coming into the overnight session. So we basically nailed the low of the day and the high of the day yesterday for all intents and purposes. The low of the day was our scaffolding level to the tick here, right where we got our hourly bullish signal that I warned you about just before the market opened. And then that scaffolding level at the top. And then we got a nice hourly bearish signal in the overnight session, which has led to that pullback there. So yesterday morning, I told you about that bullish signal coming out of the open. What were we holding at the open? You could have bought the scaffolding right out of the open here. In my opinion, it was an easy day. You bought the scaffolding here, and that was it. And if you missed out on buying the scaffolding, you could have bought the pullback to our swing level. You could have bought the pullbacks to the fast-moving averages. As you can see, there's not a single pullback here that wouldn't have held within a couple ticks of our roadmap levels. And that was it. That's all you had to do. I told you guys, look out for the hourly signal that could end up leading to a breakout. If you were waiting for the break through the overnight high, there was your opportunity. Pull back right to the overnight high, right back to that level, and then the bounce. Now, I'm actually might have to... Okay, so this level I added here this morning. This is embarrassing. Sometimes I do this. I put levels on for our pre-market, and then I come in to do a review of yesterday, and it's not there. So basically, this line was not here. I apologize. We had our overnight high. And so if you broke out through the overnight high, you got to pretend like that line isn't there. You could have bought the pullback to the overnight high, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. That line wasn't there. This is a level for today. And then we just started breaking out. Again, even if this line wasn't here, you had pullbacks to the fast-moving average that held with just a couple ticks of a break. And then where do we pull back yesterday in the morning? Right off our scaffolding level. I don't know how many people were here watching, but essentially we bounced off the scaffolding level out of the open and then got a pullback to the tick off our next scaffolding level. I don't know how perfect things can get here. And when it pulled back, where did it bounce? To the tick off of the high of the overnight session. Unbelievable stuff, right? And then we get back up through the 200. We hold it nearly to the tick. We hold the FMA to the tick as price continues to break out. And we finally get through the previous daily high, right? So out of the open yesterday, our bullish bias was the one that followed through. We got up through the high of the day before, pulled back, held the overnight high, and broke out. And from there, if you were still waiting just for the breakout, right, because we were still waiting to break out of all the chop from the high and the low of the day before and the days prior to that, or previous to that, we finally broke out, and then from there you had an opportunity to buy the pullback to the 200 and just ride this whole thing all the way up. Now we had a resistance here to the tick at 45.56 half. They came in. I don't want to make an argument like we got some type of major pullback from there, But they came in, struggled, held the FMA, continued going, and then again, the high of the day was our first target for the bulls. So if we could break out through the high of the day before, our first target, I don't know if the 60 minutes still here, was 45.65, 45.66. That's exactly what we had on our charts before the market opened yesterday. Highlighted right there for you, and there's the freaking high. I mean, I don't know how much better it can get for anybody out there on the earth right now for anticipating moves on the S&P. So pretty easy day if you ask me. And now here we coming into this nice healthy pullback through Globex. And notice what happened again. I mentioned this already. In Globex, we held our scaffolding, a little short time frame triple top, got down through the VWAP, came back and tagged it nearly to the tick for this whole sell-off. Okay, so yesterday, if you were watching Globex, you could have bought the VWAP as the market was opening here, as we were pulling back into it, but it didn't get very far, right? We held the VWAP on the pullbacks, but then could never bounce out through. Again, this is that kind of like pinball or I don't even ping pong type of stuff where it just pongs back and forth between our two roadmap levels, the VWAP and the scaffolding, and then finally we fell down below it, hold it to the tick, and there's your parry right down to our overnight low. And if you missed that in the overnight session, you did actually have an opportunity to get short right off our holy orange power level in the overnight session here to the tick for this continuation of 10, 11, 12 points. So pretty cool stuff, right? Every single morning, I just love reviewing what's happened because it just blows me away. So let's go ahead and get into our pre-market for this morning. Gonna go ahead and get the 60-minute chart back up.